Welcome to Bystander! It is one of the most crowded places in Cebu.
We are the Group 1 and we're here to replicate the experiment called Bystander Effect.
Bystander Effect is an experiment which proves that when someone needs help in a very crowded place, there's a lesser chance for you to get help.
So we will be presenting 5 different unique persona and each of them has different personalities.
Sit back and watch the show.
We had to look for a strategic place that would fit the bystander effect experiment. So, we decided to film the experiment around McDonald's. The area does not only provide us a wide perspective of when to circle. It is also the perfect place where lots of people from varied cultures and different walks of life pass by. Little did the people know that we were just actors. Liam, the male commoner, and the female commoner, Arnil, the third gender commoner, Harold, the poor guy, and Joran, the professional. While the researchers are on standby for follow-up questions, the videographers are ready to document the events. Before we discover what happens in the real world, let us find out what people think they would ideally do in this situation. We prepared a spot interview to the students in the grounds of the University of Southern Philippines Foundation. With our camera on hand and the question posted, we randomly asked students with varied genders, ages, maturity, and even culture. Then we asked them the question, what would you do when you see someone who seems to pass out in the crowded place?
Ako siyang tabangan, ako siyang kagapon, kami sa koan, sa clinic. Kung usa niya, mga tanak ko niya, kung usa yung usay, nabatin niya, okay ba siya?
I would see first if the person really passed out and then check if his or her pulse is still beating, and then check her body if she has or he has wounds, and then if everything seems to be fine, try shaking the person if he or she is conscious, and then if the person is not waking up, try calling the ambulance or try calling for help. That's it.
I would offer a hand to help him or her because I had training in basic life support and I think that I can handle the scenario. Thank you so much.
I would help him. Tabangon ako siya.
Tabangan din ako dahil I will akong asahon, ibutang sa kilid or nagaano ko ini sa liquid para makakuha siya basin sa or na pass out siya tungkol sa init.
First thing, I will go ahead and go near to that person and do these basic steps, first aid things that I knew about having passed out. Also, and I will go ahead and call the attention of other person who can definitely help us out on this so that we can bring this person to a medical personnel, for example in the clinic or the hospital maybe. That's the first thing that I will do.
I will help him and give drinks and food so he will get better and better.
Just scream over it and that's all I will.
It's good to know that these students would really help people in need. Now, let's go back to our experiment and see what people would really do when they see a person who seems to pass out. Observe how they behave in actual situations.
Liam is one of our actors. He acts as a male commoner. He blends with the people and appears to be just loitering around. Then Liam starts acting as if he felt unwell, not feeling fine and sick. Then he drops on the ground as he appears to have passed out. You will notice that people continue to walk as if nothing happened. Even the foreign passerby walked continuously, like he didn't see Liam needing for help. As Liam continued to act unwell, people also continued passing by, leaving Liam helpless.
One of the common factors considered on bystander effect experiment is gender. So, we had Anne act as the female commoner to see whether people would help if it was a woman who is in need of one. As Anne fell on the ground to appear sick, it was surprising to see that men would only check on Anne yet not lend a hand. Still, Anne was left on the street unhelped.
As gender has already been put to context in the experiment, we further sought whether the third gender would be helped in the situation. Arnold acted as the third gender commoner. With the same scenario as the previous ones, Arnold fell flat on the ground as if passing out. Notice that no matter how much close Arnold was to where people actually passed by, people would just look at him as if curious but still wouldn't mind helping.
Most often, we only help if people look like they really need help. So when Harold acted out as the poor guy, clothed as if he was one of those people living on the streets, again, Harold would fall on the ground and appear sick and needing help. Even though Harold was on the spot where anyone who'd pass by would see him, no one still bothered to help. Harold, like the others, wasn't helped.
Among the personalities being played in this experiment, Joren's role was the most interesting. Joren acted as the professional, belonging to most people who passed by. Joren started acting as if he is dizzy, feeling sick and passing out, falling on the ground. It didn't take a minute before Joren immediately got help. People gathered for a second, asking what happened. Then we began asking why the lady helped and why others didn't.
We specifically chose to interview those who seemed to check on our actors as they seemed to pass out, like this guy on blue shirt. We noticed he have been going back and forth where Liam lies, like he seemed to have an intention to help.
What made you say the feel or something? What can you say about that?
I just want to check on the guy because it's saying like that some symptoms for heart attack. Okay, nawala na nga siya.
He would have helped, yet Liam was still left on the streets unconscious.
On Anne's case, people were really confused whether she really needed help.
On Harold's case, people didn't want to get involved.
na. Ay man ko na lawa man ko dire na.
Salamat kay Kuya.
On Arnold's case, people are more concerned with their own safety.
Now, let's find out why the lady helped Jaren.
Sige na!
In a nutshell, most people would really hesitate to help, either because of uncertainty of the need or hesitation to get involved. Based on the experiment we did, help was only available depending on the mindset of the people concerned, as manifested on Jaren's case. The good thing is that it was just an experiment. But what if it really was a life-threatening situation? How sad would it be to know that no one would help at all? So we end by leaving you this question.
What would you do?
What would you do?
What would you do?
What would you do? What would you do?
What would you do?
that you need an OG that can do you the best in the worst way.